No! God!
We will be there. We
Listen. I'm in a playful mood today, I was like, let me press all the buttons and see what happens.
yeah, it's cooking sound.
Jerry?
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
Hey, man. Hope that you're doing good on this lovely Wednesday. I want to welcome you to the Football Power Hour. We're going to talk today and just have a little, check in because I'm just curious where we stand on a very important topic, and a lot of people are talking about it in a certain with a certain perspective and a certain agenda, and some people are talking about it in a different light, and I want to know where you stand on this topic. Before I get to the topic though, I want to say big shout out to you. I see you, Joe Blackman. I see you, Doctor, in the building, Young Poppy in the house. We deserve better in the building. Yo, man. Yo. Big up to the family, man. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you. If you're here and you're tuned in, let your presence be felt or heard through a chat. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. Oh, through a little like. You know what I mean? So vibe with Lenny in the house as well. That's my broski. You know what I mean? Shout out to you, man. Anyway, before we talk about the topic for today's show, I wanted to just quickly check to see what's going on as we always do. Let's check to see what's going on in the football world, just any current news that is worth mentioning. I see something here about a little piece about Garnacho. We know Garnacho ever since he went to Chelsea Football Club. He's been. I mean, I'm not feeling sad for the guy, but I am just sort of enjoying it because anytime a player leaves Manchester United, I kind of accept it. There's very few people that I still hold, or look at with affection. Fan affection, by the way. I know Young Puppy's in the house. We deserve better. I see you. But you know what I mean? There's very few people, like say Ronaldo, obviously, when anybody that respects the legacy of Ronaldo, you wouldn't let that sort of little last stint with Eric Ten Hag sort of just make you not see him in an affectionate way as a fan. Ashley Young is somebody that also a former Red, like that I look at. I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of them actually when I think about it. But I don't look at Garnacho that way. For some reason, I just look at Garnacho and I'm like, You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say too much, but I feel like you get the sense of like I don't hate the guy, but if his career doesn't, if he gets, if we hear here we go Garnacho to Strasbourg or whatever the other club that Chelsea owners own, I won't feel any remorse or sympathy. That's the point that I'm trying to make about Garnacho. I don't hate the guy. You get what I mean? I hope I articulated that properly. but anyway, the thing is, the piece is about Garnacho's slow start to Chelsea. I guess Enzo Maresca has said some things to explain Garnacho's Chelsea struggles. You know what? Prior to Chelsea's meeting with Wolves, he said Garnacho is doing well. Garnacho is another player who we are trying to manage him a little bit physically because he arrived here from United not 100% in his physical condition. He's trying to take a dig at United. Oh, is it because Garnacho was sitting down playing PlayStation? Enzo Maresca went on to say that Garnacho is working very hard every day. He's getting better and better. And in this moment, we're happy with the way he's playing. Word. Pedro Neto, for sure. It's Chelsea is one of those things where it's like there's a long line of wingers and forward options before Garnacho can get in. And you can see, as I was saying, Pedro Neto is the player that's enjoying the most starts. Estevao as well, Gittins as well has played more than Garnacho. So it's going to be a long wait for Garnacho to get back to physical fitness. And we'll see. We'll see if he'll revive his career, because I am not confident with the way it's going. Wolves play Chelsea. Is Garnacho in the lineup? Wolves play Chelsea in a few minutes, in like 15 minutes, and Garnacho is not even in the lineup. Hey, doctor says he's got attitude problems. Garnacho is definitely leaving Chelsea because he left United for more playing time, right? Yeah, definitely. He needs to do. If he's trying to get back, I don't even think like Argentina is going to be really looking at Garnacho as an option, really. It would be a big miracle if he's in that plane to America. Big up to H Don in the building. Hope that you're doing good, yo, my G. But yeah, we're looking at that. That's Maresca talking about Garnacho's struggles, and we'll see if his career will revive or not. What else is going on in the world of football? Van Dijk sent stern message to Liverpool teammates. Oh man, I just love to see this Liverpool free falling. How long will it continue? I don't know, but long may it continue. They play Crystal Palace today. Crystal Palace, can you do something for me? If Crystal Palace can beat Liverpool today, oh boy. We are going to have a great time. Let's see this lineup. Wow, Arne Slot went with guys we don't even know. Ngumoha. Rio Ngumoha is playing. Well, Anslot clearly doesn't value his job. If you look at the lineup for Crystal Palace versus Liverpool, you'll be surprised. Anyway, let's see what else is going on in the world of football. Let's leave Liverpool in the free fall. Let them free fall, and we love it. We enjoy it. We think we deserve to see it. Arteta is confident Doman will sign professional contract at Arsenal. Oh, There is something going on here. There's a 15-year-old prodigy called Max Dauman, guys. Mikel Arteta has little concern about Real Madrid or any other rival club poaching this 15-year-old kid. Because apparently he's the truth. Max Dauman. So it's just a matter of time till we see if this hype is justified. Because apparently Real Madrid is sniffing there. They wanna know if they can sign Max Dauman. Hey, it's all right. They can have him. We got JJ Gabriel, right? What else? What else? What else is going? It's a slow news day, you know. Boemo Koy. Manchester United forward Brandon Bomo hasn't ruled out scoring 20 Premier League goals in his first season with the club. Refusing to set himself a target or a limit. Okay. All right. He says, I always try to aim in everything that I do. I try not to set limits on myself, on what I can reach. I'm just going to work on that as much as possible. Everyone wants to fight for as high as possible. We want to win as many games as we can, and that is what we're going to try to do. Okay, Brian Mbumo. Yeah. Nice little segue for me to say, if you had to give a one-word answer, why are there signs of improvement at Manchester United? I can see H-Don typing Mbumo. I can see somebody, you know what I mean? It's like, what, in your opinion, why are there signs of improvement at Manchester United? Oh, okay. 20 from Mbumo is coming back. That would be great. Let's see how many goals has he got right now? Is it 5? Let's see. Mbumo stats this season. 4. Oh, it's 5 GA. 4 goals, 1 assist in the Premier League. But it's 5 goals all comps. He's got 15 more to go. It's definitely possible. Oh, okay. We're getting somewhere now. I want to put the link in the chat in a moment, but because we're here for a short time and a good time. But I want to know, why do you think there are signs of improvement at Manchester United? What do you attribute those improvements to? I will get to this to just sort of give us a little bit of context in how we're going to have this conversation, because somebody can just say, oh, long balls. And Slaughter said it. They launch long balls. And the data actually proves that we do launch a lot of long balls. Lamens, 37 passes. 37 long passes, right? Ever since he debuted versus Sunderland, he did 37 long passes that day, 45 long passes at Anfield, and 32 long passes against Brighton last weekend. Now, we haven't been doing long passes only with Lamens, though. Bainde been doing long passes this season. Matter of fact, the data says Bainde went long 47% of his passes when he was starting. So if we can put 2 and 2 together, we will notice that, oh my God, Ruben Amorim has been asking his goalkeepers to look for the long pass sometimes. Matter of fact, If we can really roll back the tapes, I think I remember him even saying that about Onana, that it's situational. I'm not asking him to only play out from the back. And now you can see why somebody like Balitek says Lamens, because you know what? Lamens is executing this and he's executing it well. Consequently, we're seeing that look at the fact that our goalkeeper distribution is very different. Matter of fact, what I'm saying about goalkeeper distribution zone, I want to show you really quickly this little graph right here that will show you how we compare to last season. Okay, we're looking at Man United goalkeeper distribution since last season, 2024-25 season. We can see that this zone right here, near the center of the half, 4% of our long balls were going there. 4% of our goalkeeper distribution was reaching there, and there's a stark difference this season with 11%. We can see clearly that, oh my God, we are trying. I mean, obviously, the data of this season is very limited. It's how many? It's less than 10 games, right? But there is a serious, stark difference with how we're trying to play out. And right now, I can tell you confidently that, look, Ruben Amorim has been giving this instruction, but Sen Lamons is the person that's actually been able to execute it. Bainde wasn't able to execute it as effectively. Let me welcome Mr. Balitek. Ladies and gentlemen, have no fear. Balitek is here.
Big up to everyone in the chat. I hope everyone's having a good day or a good evening. This is the Football Power Hour show. Smash a like. Let's go in.
Come on, bro. Listen, I'm here realizing this, that Ruben Amorim has been giving not drastically different instructions to the goalkeeper this season. And I'm talking about Lamens and Bainde. And
Yep.
Lamens has been literally been executing and being more commanding as well in claiming high balls and claiming crosses. And bro, this is so important, because it's part of why we're playing different. And I believe, like you also said, Lamens is a big ingredient of why we're playing so much better.
Yeah, because if you look at our early games,
yeah,
where we either lose or drew, I told you, or I told other people, that it was due to goalkeeping errors. Brentford, goalkeeping errors. Man City, goalkeeping errors. Fulham, goalkeeping errors. Arsenal, goalkeeping errors. Like, the goalkeeping errors where either the keeper should have came out, or the keeper was rooted to his line, and or the keeper not making a good enough save. In my opinion, like, when I was calling for this guy to come in and start, because I was sick and tired of Bayon making mistake after mistake. Like, his sample size of Manchester United games to mistakes that he was making is absolutely diabolical. I could not believe how many mistakes I've seen him make in a short period of time. And there were people actually saying, "Oh, but he's better than Onana. Anyone's better than Onana." No, this guy is just as bad, if not worse. Because at least Onana was able to have a period where we thought maybe he turned his career around. Maybe you could give him the man of the match. Maybe you could do certain things. Bayern there, he's probably played 10 games for us, maybe a little bit more. The guy's made mistakes in like half of them.
Yeah.
Or a little bit more than half.
Yeah. Bro.
So in my humble opinion, the minute Lemens stepped in goal was gonna be an upgrade. But I think for some of us, what we didn't know is that the kid's like a scientist in goal. Yeah. He's just a nerdy guy who loves football, and is just focused, hyper focused on being the best that he can be. So I remember in the summer when I was saying we need footballers that are nerdy, like footballers that just want to come, play football, do extras, be the best that they could be, and go home and not get involved in any of that extra curricular activities, getting onto the OnlyFans in the middle of the night, doing up Jadon Sancho settings, turning into clients and things of that nature. We didn't need our footballers doing that. We needed our footballers dedicated on the football. So the minute this guy came in, it's no wonder that the defense is looking stronger. It's no wonder that the Lit is looking like a warlord, that Lenny Euro is looking very assured. It's no wonder that Sir Harry Maguire is probably playing one of the best footballs that we've seen in a long time, apart from the game where he lost his man and then the opposition scored. But other than that, the guy's playing pretty well. Luke Shaw's improved. So then you start looking at the rest of the team. Now that the team is confident in their goalkeeper, now you're seeing goals return back to Old Trafford. You're seeing goals return back to the likes of Cunha and Mbumo and Sesko, where they're all scoring goals. And in fact, we've now got a plus goal difference that I haven't really seen under any manager. And to be fair, if it wasn't for the substitutions, we might and maybe like a refereeing error, we might have had a little bit more in the we might have not conceded the goals that we conceded against Brighton. So I think obviously going back to what you were saying in a previous show when everyone stuck it all over you. XG. Why are we talking about XG? When we go back to the XG, I think because maybe it's the way you implemented the show that people didn't like, but I think the essence of the show was to show, the XG was to show that actually the underlying numbers shows that we've improved as a team, and the way we're consistently playing from the XG shows that actually the football that we're playing now is sustainable. It's sustainable. And now you're seeing the fruits that we're yielding. So now that the team is fit, you're seeing us put good teams to the sword. And in actual fact, we got one game a week. We got more time on the training ground. And I put it to every single body in the chat. We're going to continue putting teams to the sword. Not only are we going to continue putting teams to the sword, but it looks like the club are trying to push for people to come in January. Now, I put it to you guys in the chat that if we bring guys in January, it's gonna be problematic for the opposition. I'm telling you that.
Them dead.
The opposition is dead, bro.
100%. 100%. And I, for one, is glad, that at least now the manager can arrive at the training ground with his shades on, yeah, looking like an absolute bad man, looking like the guy who we signed coming into the training ground, Monclizzy with his Monclizzys and all of that stuff. Yeah. Now, as far as I'm concerned, his system is working,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Even with the deficiencies that he has, and if he continues with this form, he's showing that Ineos, in actual fact, should invest more into the squad so we can start pushing and chasing for titles.
So, Buddy Tech, other than Lamens, what else would you attribute the system improvement to, though?
Other than Le Mans, I think, well, it all starts from Le Mans, really, because the way Le Mans is kicking that ball, he's kicking that ball further than the previous goalkeepers. Not only is he kicking it more further than the previous goalkeepers, but where the ball is actually landing, we're able to now start getting our dangerous players. And one of the most dangerous players in the club, right, on the transition is Mbumo. And when this guy gets the ball in and around the final third, he is one of the most dangerous players in the Premier League. And unfortunately for the opposition, he doesn't mess around. He doesn't need to do extra skill moves or anything like that. Very, 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 very efficient, very, very clinical, as you can see from the 2 goals that he scored against Brighton, especially the last one. That was clinicality at its finest.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. I feel like that's another one, another trickle, or another another big reason why we're seeing these improvements. Because if you just say it starts with Lamens and ends with Lamens, then if we had Lamens last year, I don't think we would be seeing like a similar type of performance, from looking at the other players that we had Garnacho, we had Rashford, and Rasmus, and all. So like Lamens is one key part. Mbumo is also another key part. And as you said as well, that some of it is the directness that we have, the speed that we have, especially on that right hand side. It's a little bit more.
I don't want to miss out Cunha, because I think his first game was amazing without the goal. So he's had a few very good performances without the goal, and then he's had a few shady performances, and I believe, and then he had an injury as well. So I believe during that period where the manager decided, you know what, I'm going to drop him, and then Mason Mount kind of showed us, oh, this is how the number 10 is supposed to really be playing. He was dropping in, helping with the midfield. He was pressing when we needed to. He was actually clinical with the goal that he scored, where he got set up by Mbumo. And then, people was like, oh, well.
Sunderland, right? You're talking about that
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then people was like, well, yeah, Cunha's a scrub. Look, he's getting pushed out the team by Mason Mount, blah, blah, blah. And in my head, I was thinking, do people know what they're talking about? This is the Brazilian guy that was terrorizing people last season. This is the same Brazilian that scored the most goals from outside of the box last season. Yeah, this is the same Brazilian that scored, I think, like 17 goals for Wolves. So I just said to myself, do you know what? Eventually he's going to come good. He's going to score his first goal, and I think he's just going to literally shut people up. Now, ever since he scored now, they're like, yeah, and United's recruitment, they've brought in the 2 number 10s, Premier League proven. Now all of the pundits are talking their mess, and everybody's happy now, right? And Cunha scored his first goal from outside the box, like I knew he would, because he's an outside of the box threat type of player. And he's definitely somebody who I attribute some of the improvements to. Why? Because You give him the ball under pressure, he doesn't really lose the ball. He can have like 4 or 5 guys around him, and somehow he's using his strength, he's using his power, he's using his technicality, he's using his body. He's not losing the ball, and he's popping the ball off to our players without losing it, and he's getting in other positions. He's carrying the ball up the field. He's going past people like they're not even there. And you know what? Long may it continue, because at the end of the day, he's probably one of the best ball carriers in the team right now. As far as I'm concerned, he's one of the best ball carriers in the team. And if we can carry on doing what we're doing, Mbumo's going to score more goals than him. For the simple fact that Mbumo likes to go in behind, and Mbumo doesn't mess around. He doesn't need to do a trick. He doesn't need to show any flair.
And one of the things
he will score as well.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, and I feel like a big part of how we're gonna get a lot of these goals from Mbumo is, if you remember versus Arsenal, we were doing a lot of like switches of like from one side of the pitch to the other side, and then from one wing back to the other wing back, and I think like some of the chances that we created versus Arsenal, you could see that the tactic is sort of to take advantage of Mbumo's speed and have a moment where you switch it from the left wing back all the way across, and once we are able to really implement that will be another way where we can get goals. Another way where we can get goals is like we need Mbumo to start crossing as well, because he was one of the most prolific crossers last season in the Premier League, if not the most. And
but we need Ahmad crossing as well, because I can see the cross to the back post for Sesko has to be on. It has to be, because that guy, phenomenal in the air.
Yes. Doctor says it's 1-0 Chelsea. Big up, Doc. Hopefully it's not. No, obviously Garnacho is not starting, so whatever. Big up to Vegeta in the building. Well, no, we're not talking XG. We're talking about the reason why we think there are signs of improvement at Manchester United right now, and at this very moment, it's just the impact of Mbumo, the impact of Cunha we've been talking about, the impact of Le Mans, and also not just that, it's the long balls that we've been able to modify per game, because the whole thing of like, oh, don't worry about the duel, really worry about the second balls and make sure you position each player, in an area where, it's all calculated and all sort of...
You see the long ball thing? I think that's also disingenuous, because people think, that we're just launching it forward, and then it's the ball's being brought down by somebody, then all of a sudden we're scoring. That's not necessarily what's happening. I think what we've utilized the long ball to do is, rather than playing out from the back, we've launched it forward because of the way certain teams press. Now, rather than us losing the ball in defense and giving an easy goal for the opposition to score, we're just launching it forward, and we're winning the second ball, and we're letting them deal with the issues in their final third, right? But other than that, at times we're actually playing good football. Other than that, we're playing good football. So the idea that we're not passing certain teams to death or destroying them with our incisive passes, or putting them under pressure, winning the ball in their half of the field, and actually having sustained levels of pressure in their area of the field, that is something that I think people don't really talk about, because all they want to do is talk about the long balls, because that's what the opposition want to complain about. Doing is playing long balls, and then you find out that in actual fact, we only played a few more long balls than Liverpool did. So Liverpool played almost just as many long balls as we did. But you got their manager mentioning the long balls on the TV, saying that, when you play Man United, the ball's only in the air. Okay, cool, but the ball's in the air when we're playing you as well, bro.
You see, what we're looking at right now is also Man United's touch locations and how they've evolved over the last few years. And like you were saying, Balitek, like it's not like we're not playing out from the back. Matter of fact, the goal that we just talked about a minute ago, the Mason Mount one, if you remember, what's his name? De Ligt was passing the ball to Euro. We actually built that one up from the back. And there was just a narrative that like, oh no, we just were long ball FC. No, I think we're starting to see that, like, you know, we have moments where we play the long ball, these moments where we build up from the back, these are moments where we press a little higher than usual, from the mid-block position. And all this is all according to what the manager sort of wants and how he analyzes the opponents and tries to exploit the weaknesses of the opponents. And some people are now acting like, oh no, he's never done that before. Like, he's been trying to get players to do this. And you know what? When you get goals and when you get the team to click, there's a little bit more of like confidence. And confidence is such a big key ingredient of why there are signs of improvement at Man United right now. Matter of fact, let me bring in We Deserve Better as well to, be a part of the conversation. Thank you.
Do you know one thing I'll quickly say as well before We Deserve Better goes? When we was linked with Ruben Amorim, I literally went and watched every other sporting game since up until the time that he signed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the idea that like he played long balls in sporting. He didn't just play, like, the keeper loved it to go long. They also built out from the back. Yeah. There's certain things that I saw in that sporting way of play that was so fluid. The way they used to just turn the ball around the corner without even looking, and the player was already there. Like, I have some of that I actually saw in pre-season, but then we've sort of failed to bring it all the way into this season, right? So there's still a lot of levels and gears to Ruben Amorim's system to go into, but I don't think we have the personnel to be confident with it right now. It's just like, look at the way Rasmus looked in pre-season. But I have no doubt that I have doubts that he would have been able to do that this season. Hence the reason why we went and got Sesko.
We Deserve Better. Big up yourself.
Hey, big up, Belichick.
Big up.
What do you think about some of the conversation we've been having?
It's interesting because I hear a lot of people saying that Ruben Amorim has adapted. I'm not Ruben's greatest fan, but I think it's quite insulting to say that this guy, he's just Johnny come lately, right? And he's just suddenly adapted. It's crazy, right? And I wonder if it's people who just wrote this manager off and now they have to justify why they're coming on board. For me, one of the difficulties we had at the beginning of the season was we weren't clinical. We just weren't taking our chances. You've done your XP stream, and that said a lot about it also. And we just weren't clinical. And what's really nice is that we are taking our chances. That's what wins you games, is getting the goal in the back of the net. And touching on what Balitek says, having a responsible goalkeeper at the back. I know he's only played a few games, but there's a difference there. And, if players are exhausted, like players didn't trust Højlund, they wouldn't pass the ball to Højlund. Players didn't trust Bayern. Players stopped trusting Onana. So when you put someone new in there, they're going to give that guy a chance. And that's what's happening at the moment. Also, De Ligt pivoting forward with Casemiro. That kind of holds the midfield a bit more. It allows Bruno to go forward and play his game.
Yeah.
And again, the long ball. Bayern was doing that as well to a degree, lobbing the ball up, and and the knockdowns. I think it's amazing. I think Cunha, we were all waiting to see him because we all know he's a great player. And I think that, going back to what Balitek said, that Sunderland game really helped to kind of position people's minds on what that attack needed to do. It was a masterstroke, if I look at it. Playing Mount there, really, because Cunha does not want to be playing. So it really showed what that discipline needed to be. And in that game, we suddenly saw Bruno being more disciplined. And I was quite happy for Bruno to go last season. I think it would have been we don't know. It depends who they would have brought in. But the way Bruno is playing in the last few games, that's what I want to see for him. He's being disciplined and he's going forward when he needs to, and then he's dropping back when De Ligt drops back. So there's so many different factors. And Cunha then came in that Sunderland game. I think he got a few minutes. And then the Liverpool game. I want to see. So for me, that was the shithousery was amazing, right? Yeah. But that told me I saw everything I needed to see in Cunha. I said it about Mbumo ages ago. This is a United player. I saw it all in Cunha that day. He was the one player out of all of the players that really showed what that historic rivalry meant. And I'm not surprised that being buoyed by that he went on to have an amazing game against Brighton. So all of those factors seem to be coming together. There are still, there are still things I have concern with. I'd really like to understand from Ruben Amorim, why does he always feel the need to make substitutions with the back three? I'm old school. I always think don't substitute the back three unless there's an injury or a lack of form in one of the players. But this is something he does every single day. So I will praise him for all the things he's getting right. I will question him for just that, because I think, does he really need to do that? What is he protecting? Is it injury? What is it?
You mean his subs? Every time when he subs a centre back,
every match he does it.
Yeah.
Every single match.
Yeah,
and we're only playing one game a week, so I don't understand what's the fear there. What's the necessity that he needs to do that?
Well, one of the, for Luke Shaw is somebody that obviously you can't overplay, or just seeing Luke Shaw being fit for the first time, 8 games, 8 starts. I think he started every game, if I'm not mistaken, every Premier League game. But what my guess is just that he's definitely having player fitness in mind, and sort of also there's something intricate about the way he's asking his center backs to also sometimes step into midfield, that he needs players to be fresh to be able to still, run into those positions. Because one criticism he's received is like, he's plugging square pegs into round holes. What? Like his asking all these players to do things that like they can't do, and by he's confusing them by asking them to play different positions. But right now, players are actually now starting to sometimes the reason why we're actually starting to look better is because the players have now finally got it. It doesn't just switch like this. He's had a preseason. Now he's had like actual and as you've been saying, we deserve better time in between midweek to work and really drill the methods in. And now the education is in the minds of the players, and now we're starting to see application and actual proper execution. It's crazy. Like if you remember versus Sunderland, he was shouting at Cunha actually at the very beginning of the game to track back. And Cunha is a new player, but he needs to sometimes remind his players, every now and then that you got to be able to track back all the time. That's why it was no coincidence we saw Cunha playing. At some moments, he was on left back, Mbumo on right back versus Brighton. They were actually blocking, a cross that would have probably led to a goal, and that changes the moment and changes the flow and the dynamic of the game if you concede that goal. So all these little things is just very fine, small details that all make a big impact on how the outcome of the game is. And now we're now starting to see some of it click. And as I said, the main point that I was trying to drive is maybe time is a factor. And we're starting to see that what happens when you give the manager the time, the preseason, and actually the opportunity for him to actually test his ideas out. So
and I was going to say, and also the team has changed. Several players have left, new players have come in. That was a completely new attack force. That was always going to take time to settle. Yeah. And I'm still his biggest critic. Don't get me wrong. So this isn't but what I'm saying is I can be honest about what I see. Yeah. And so you have players coming in. That run of games was a tough run of games for him, right? And they still navigated it as best they could. There were moments that were great. There were moments, Grimsby being one, which was horrendous. But what's happening now is that there's confidence. And, success breeds success. When you start to win games, you get confident. And what I'm seeing units of people. Now, I want other players coming in, but I can understand with Amorim sticking with the same team, because there's a kind of, you need to know how to play with your teammates, and you need to have that consistency of playing with the teammates. We all want certain names to come into the squad, right? But maybe for the time being, just to ensure that we continue on that same level, we continue winning, that you don't change the team too much. You stick with that fixed 11, and then and then when there's because there are going to be times, AFCON's coming ahead, there are going to be times for other players to get in, men who can get in the 8. Bruno may cover for the 10 when Buma. There's positional changes there. Euro may get some more games in, But I get it. If I was the manager, I would be doing the same. When you have a winning formula, you don't change it. You stick it and you imprint it. And what you do then is that you show the people on the bench, this is what you need to be doing. If you want to get into this team, this is what you need to be showing me. So, yeah.
I think you articulated it well. We'll conclude the show with this. Listen to this.
Your system. Do you not at some point have to?
You see, like the title right there. I love Beanie Man Sports, by the way, but look, they're like, embarrassing to be Man United coach talking about I have to sell my idea. Look at
compromise and change your system, try and get through this period.
It's like playing with 3 is more or less the same thing of playing with 4. We can change the characteristics. If you play with Ahmad on the winger, it could be a little bit different. We had some games that we pressing 4-4-2. So I don't see it that way. Of course, the players are not. I didn't choose the players specifically for that position, but that I already knew. So, but I have to sell my idea. If I'm going to change all the time, it's going to be even worse. But I understand that they have a lot of difficulties because they spend 2 years playing one way and then they are playing another. And with a lot of losses, is really tough on them, and they feel. You can feel it during the game. So even today, when we try to score and we are near to score, was more from them than the organization. So you can feel it. I can feel it, but I have to sell my idea. I don't have another one.
If you keep on losing, it's impossible to sell that.
But
so then what?
If you keep on, let's hear this one.
If I change the system completely, I don't know if I'm near to win. If I do that and continue to lose, then is worst. So you don't know, I don't know, and I see the game in a different way. It doesn't matter if you are 3 with 5 or with 4. If you know the basics and if you can train that idea, I see the game in this way. So I understand what you are saying. But if I know for sure that changing everything is going to get us near to win games, I will do it.
But could you not have said to them, this is going to be my idea?
This manager deserves an apology from many people. And you know what? I'm not saying he's the Messiah, and I'm not saying we're gonna he'll take us to the promised land. But it's just a lesson on just sometimes you need to just look at the bigger picture. Look at what's spoiling the picture if you're not happy with the picture at the very moment. And once you actually understand that he was just saying, listen, some things are just basics that we are failing to do. And if players fail to execute the basics, you will look like a clown. Ruben Amorim, he is him.
Victor manager. Football power.